Are you dying to quit smoking? This year, 430,000 people will quit by dying. Right now, we can easily help you quit smoking.
In some ways it's getting back to normal quite quickly, really. I mean, banks are open, shops are open, you see lots of street markets, people selling food, sort of fruit stalls and vegetable stalls, people coming and going, things like that. The other thing that really strikes you as you drive around Port-au-Prince, though, are these sort of spontaneous camps that are set up everywhere on dual carriageways. Even on the island between the roads, there are these temporary shelters where people have pulled together the very plastic sheets that agencies have given out, tents that we've been giving out, and set up their own homes in these tiny places. But every kind of tennis court, football pitch are covered in these camps, which aren't totally chaotic. They're organised. They've got their own little street systems, and they've set up their own little camp committees to try and organise things and coordinate what happens. When you start talking to people, you realise they're still dealing with a lot of bereavement. They're still dealing with lots of questions about what's my future hold for me. Families are separated in some of the camps. I observed there didn't seem to be many children around, and when I asked about this, parents said, well, they'd sent their children out to the city to stay with relatives in the country, but because their work was in the city, they were staying in the city. Initially, it was about finding out who to help and where to help them. But now systems are in place, and the partners are doing their second and third distributions of a range of things. That might be food, but some of the partners who initially were distributing food because that was seen as the primary need have now started distributing money and actually giving people cash so that they can choose for themselves what they need, whether that's more food or whether that's clothes or some other needs. A lot of effort is going into coordination. It is difficult. There are over 980 agencies from around the world working in Haiti at the moment, so coordination is not straightforward. But that's why Christian Aid uses local partners who have been established for years and have strong roots in their communities. The next question for many people who have lost their jobs is how do they build back their own livelihoods, which means things like working in the agricultural sector, which means things like working with small businesses, helping women who had a small business selling things, giving them the capital to restart their business so they're not dependent on aid for years to come, but they can quickly get back on their own feet. I met one lady who had left Port-au-Prince because of losing her house with a family and was staying with relatives. And the partner, Coral, had given her some cash. She was a tailor by background, so she had used this to buy some of the tissue for designing clothes, bought some cloth, made some clothes and sold them and made a profit. And that was pleasing, one, because she was increasing the value of what she'd been given, but also it was giving her dignity. It was giving, she was taking charge of her own recovery. The big question is how you get from here to the obvious return to normalcy and this whole idea of building back better. But when you have people living in camps, sorting out issues over who owns the land, who do you prioritise for building shelters first? Do you prioritise building houses or actually helping people find work and stimulating the economy as a priority? These are some of the big questions that we're looking at. I don't think you can say we've raised too much money when you look at the scale of the need and the years it will take to recover that situation. I don't think you can say we raised too much money. You can imagine if London lost a huge number of its buildings, the sheer cost of replacing those buildings alone, let alone restarting the economy, investing in schools, there's going to be huge needs for years to come. So no, I'm sure we won't have any trouble spending the money well. That the future is not like the recent past. I think when you talk to many Haitians, they see it as an opportunity to come together. It's an opportunity for unity in a way that perhaps there wasn't before such a tragedy. But it's also an opportunity to really question the development path that Haiti had been taken, to take on something new, to look at how their whole economy is structured, how their whole political system works. I think is a real opportunity for change and a better future.